Hey guys, so I've decided to do the Draw My Life tag. I'm kind of excited to do it. Everybody's been doing it, so I figured I would give it a try. Um, so I guess we'll start off with my parents. They met at a Navy recruiter's office. My dad was 19 and my mom was 18. There's my dad with a super cool mustache, my mom with her short military hair. But yeah, they met at a naval recruiter's office and hit it off pretty well. Um, about a year later, they decided they would go down to the courthouse and they were going to get married. Yay, married. So that is how my mom and my dad started. My dad and his super cool mustache. So, shortly after they got married, like I said, they were both in the Navy. Shortly after they got married, my mom got pregnant with my brother, and she actually was discharged from the Army. And here came my brother in 1982, and he was actually born deaf, 98% in one ear, 100% in the other. My mom found out because she'd scream at him and nothing would happen, and then she'd stomp on the floor and he would, hear it, he would feel it. So after a couple of years, my dad go out to sea and then he'd come back. Um, and he came back one time and they got in some big fight and he said he wanted a divorce and it was on his birthday, and then I guess they ended up having makeup, whatever, and 9 months later, here came me in 1986, February 6th. And then 18 months later, my little sister Holly was born in August of 87. So, not too much longer after my sister was born, my parents they were all living together. My dad was back from sea for a while, and everything was looking, really good. And it just didn't work out between my mom and my dad, which totally works out because the two of them together would have been miserable. My brother ended up going with my dad, and me and my sister ended up staying with my mommy. Um, my dad ended up getting remarried to a wonderful lady named Cheryl, who I absolutely adored. She was like the best stepmom ever. And my mom ended up getting remarried to a man named Wayne, who was quite a bit younger than she was, but that's okay. So it was me and Wayne and Holly and my mom, and then it was Cheryl, my dad, Kenny, and her daughter Corinne, who was a couple years older than us. Um, I went to elementary school called Bayside Elementary, and I was super stoked because I always thought that it was like I would end up going to like Saved by the Bell Bayside Elementary, which didn't end up happening, but that's okay. So not long after I turned probably 5, my mom and Wayne split up. He was just kind of, I guess, too immature for her. I'm not sure. But they ended up splitting up. I was still really young, so I don't remember a lot of it. But I do remember Wayne, and I still talk to Wayne on a daily basis. Um, she had a little boyfriend for a while named Mike, who was really awesome. I still talk to Mike all the time. But after that, she started going on AOL. I remember starting up her internet every morning, and she started talking to this guy named Mark. Um, Mark actually lived in California, which you can see now. We lived in Virginia at the time, and he lived in California. And they would fly out to see each other. She'd fly out to see him, and then he'd fly out to see her, and they sent cards to each other every day. It was really cute. And one of the last times that he came out to see her, he came out of the airport with one of those window shade things that said, "Linda, I love you. Will you marry me?" and proposed in the airport. This was pre 9/11, so he could come up. And she said yes. So she moved out to California, and my dad was not okay with that, with us going out there. So we stayed with my dad for a little while until my mom could get suitable housing and whatnot for kids. We were very sad. It was very sad for us. In the meantime, we lived with my dad and Cheryl and Corinne and my brother, and I went to a little junior high for 6th grade, and it was fun, and it was we had a really good time. And my dad had a big pool in the backyard, and he taught me how to back dive off of it, and it was really fun. We had 2 dogs, we had 3 dogs, we had Nikki, Sassy, and Brutus. But eventually, my dad and Cheryl got divorced as well, and my dad sent us out to California so that way we didn't have to go through another messy divorce. So me and my sister packed our bags and we headed out to California. My mom and Mark had bought a really nice house and we were going to go to school there, and it was really awesome. We were so excited to go out to California because we, had never been there, and it's California. So I started there 7th grade at Rainey Intermediate, Rainey Junior High, whatever you want to say. My biggest things I did while I was there is I joined band and I started playing the trombone, which was super fun. I loved playing the trombone. I played the trombone for a very, very long time, and I got straight A's. I always got straight A's. I was really smart. And then after junior high, because nothing else really happened, I went to Corona High School, kind of like the beer. And again, I played my trombone, and I was in marching band, I was in jazz band, I was in concert band. I just played the crud out of my trombone. I was also in drama, which was really, really fun. Lots of different plays. I got to do a lot of tech work, which was really fun. My junior year, I decided I hated my mom and I was going to fly out to Jersey and live with my dad because my dad had moved to Jersey with his new wife. So I decided I'm flying to New Jersey. Not long after I got there, I realized that, grass isn't always greener on the other side, and I moved back to California. And ever since then, me and my mom have had a much better relationship. Actually, it started there, and it's gotten about 1,000,000 times better. When I was in Jersey, I got my first job at Wendy's when I was 16 years old, and I actually stayed there for almost 4 years between the one in Jersey and the ones in California. I loved it. I absolutely loved working at Wendy's. Would you like to biggie size your combo today? Halfway through my senior year, my friend Erin introduced me to a guy named Justin. And we were inseparable for months. He was my first boyfriend. He was my first kiss. He was my first everything. And I used to every Wednesday and Saturday, I went figure skating with him because he was a professional figure skater, and I loved it, but I should have known that that wasn't going to last. He was a professional figure skater, and one day he broke up with me and was like, "Sorry, Shannon, I'm gay." So that broke my heart. My first love ended up being gay, and of course you always wonder, where did I go wrong? So 2004, I graduated from high school with honors. Like I said, I was kind of smart. I don't know what happened, but so let's see. Shortly after that, my mom and Mark just kind of grew apart. It wasn't that they didn't love each other anymore. He wanted to stay in Southern California with his parents, and she wanted to move to Michigan with her parents. So, because they were getting old. So in July of 2005, me and my mom packed up my car and her Jeep, and we took a 2-week road trip out to Michigan. So that was really fun. We went everywhere. So that was pretty cool. While I was gone, shortly before I left and while I was gone, I started talking to a guy online named Alex. Really, really cool guy. And, we talked, we really liked each other, but I lived in Michigan. He lived in California. So it was just kind of like we chatted for a while, and I ended up actually, moving back in 2006, and I moved back, quote unquote, for this guy named John, but it was really for Alex. And when I got there, I found out that my friend from high school, Jesse, was actually dating him, which was a little upsetting, but I got over it because, me and Alex weren't dating. I was a little upset, but, I don't know why I have a mullet in this picture, but that's okay. So I was a little upset, but, that was okay because Jesse was still my friend and Alex was really cool. In 2006, I started working at Disneyland. I was a ride operator on Star Tours. This is also where I met my bestest friend in the whole world, JD. He almost ran me over in the parking lot. Also, I started talking and dating my friend Brian, who was actually my lead on Star Tours, and we were inseparable. We hung out every single day for weeks. Never exclusively, but one day I got a text from Jesse and Brian and was like, "Shannon, you should come to Starbucks." And I got to Starbucks with a bunch of my friends and found them together. I was very upset because Brian was really cool. I'm not going to say I loved him because we were only really together for a couple weeks, but I was very upset that Jesse had once again come between me and somebody that I had really liked. Yes, I was very upset. So in 2007, I started dating a guy named Les. I know, I go through lots of guys, don't I? Started dating a guy named Les. We talked for weeks and weeks and weeks. Actually, we talked for months before we actually met. And it was just love at first sight. He was a bit older than me. He was a hairstylist. He cut off all my hair. He was also a tattooer, so he put tattoos all over me, and I got most of them for free, which was totally awesome. In December of 2007, me and Les ended up going out to dinner with Jessie and her boyfriend at the time. It was also Les's daughter, Haley, and Jessie's boyfriend's daughter as well. So we all went out. We had a really great time. It was just so much fun. And then 2 days later, my work, Insight Vacations, who sold motor coach tours, sent me on a free trip to Germany, which was like the highlight of my life so far. Well, not completely, but it was awesome. I moved in with Les in January, and on March 15th, I got home from work, and Les told me that he wanted to break up and it wasn't working out for him. I stormed out of the house with no shoes on because there were no shoes on the way to the door. Luckily, I had my purse on me because it was terrible. I died that day. It was absolutely emotional. And the next day, on MySpace, I see a status that says Les is in a relationship with none other than Jessie. And it broke my heart, and I wanted to kill them both. It was terrible. They were together for 2.5 years. So in revenge, I decided that the guy I went to Red Robin with, that Jessie was still hung up on, I was going to message him and be like, hey, how's it going? And we ended up talking for a little while. We met up, a couple of times, and it was, it turned from revenge into something more. We started dating, and it was really awesome. We went to a couple, little dates, and it was just absolutely true love. And that person was Vaughn. He was originally supposed to be my revenge. He turned into my soulmate. So me and Vaughn went to Job Corps. I got my pharmacy tech license. He got a welding certificate, and everything was really great. I found out my grandma got sick, though, and I decided after my course was over, I was going to fly out to Michigan. I stayed in Michigan for a while, and then I came down to Jersey, and Vaughn met me in Jersey. After we'd been apart for 3 months, he met me down in Jersey in September of 2009. I moved in with my dad, my stepmom, and my little sister. In November of 2010, me and my dad and my stepmom got in a huge fight. Some really terrible things were said, and I walked out. I didn't see them again for 2.5 years. Me and Vaughn got our own place. We came up to Michigan, and we got married on May 14th of last year, 2012. And we got a little puppy named Emma. She is a Chiweenie, half Chihuahua, half Dachshund. She is my pride and joy. I got laid off from my job October of last year, and we decided we were just going to go ahead and move to Michigan. That's where my family was, and that's kind of where we wanted to be. So now we have our own home, and it's me and Vaughn and Emma. And in December, we added a new little addition to our family, our little Jasper, who is our long-haired Dachshund, and it's just a little happy family, and we couldn't be happier. But we could be happier because every day we think about how much we truly want a child, and we know it'll happen. We just have to keep praying and wishing for it. So I want to thank you guys so much. This is pretty much the synopsis of my life. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you so much, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.